Oh, God. Oh, God. Come on. Oh, no. I'm gonna miss it. Oh, my God. Come on. You got this.
One station down, 32 to go. The World Street Food Talk continues, but today it's man versus machine. Bangkok's MRT Blue Line runs a near-perfect 50-kilometer loop around the heart of the city, and we're chasing it on foot through morning wet markets, afternoon river crossings, evening monsoon storms, and late-night traffic chaos, and all whilst crafting the perfect full day's menu of street food. From the first to last train gives us 18 brutal hours to visit every major station. So place your orders with the Ginger Devil. It's time to ingest another gluten-packed slice of Forkin hell.
Familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world.
Oh, I can't believe it is like a few minutes past 6 and it's already bright and hot. Bodes well for the rest of the day.
Good morning, everyone. When you set off for an adventure, it's the plan that gets you out of the door, but it's the unexpected moments that create the memories. In a city as incredible as Bangkok, the unexpected is a constant, and the trick is to embrace, adapt, and just take it all in your stride. Today's trip around the MRT will be no different and later prove to become a real eye-opener. Just a few hundred yards from the MRT line is Bangkok's largest fresh market, and actually one of the biggest markets on earth. It sits in one of the city's poorest areas, and yet it's one of the hardest working. The name Klong Toi actually means pandan leaf canal, named after that sweet, fragrant leaf that once grew along the water here. And I'll be honest, that smell is long gone. These people have already been here for many hours, unloading the trucks, cutting and laying out the produce, and cooking breakfast for the workers who keep this place running. If you eat anywhere in Bangkok, from a street cart to a 5-star hotel, it's a very good chance that your ingredients came through here first. It's raw, it's chaotic, there's no polish here, just the real beating heart of how the city feeds itself, and that happens every day before most people have even woken up.
To be honest, I wish I could have spent a little bit longer there, but given that there's 50 kilometers to go still today, maybe 55 knowing how I walk. And it's not even 7 o'clock yet. I've been to the toilet 3 times. You know, maybe a coffee will help. Pretty sure that coffees are globally known to help people to stop going to the toilet. That's right?
Just before the next station, tucked alongside the main market, was this smaller one, more geared towards a hot breakfast. And yet, with all that incredible choice around me, what did I go for? The cheese and ham piece of toast. Whole wheat bread, I might add, so, practically a health food. 65 baht, which is about twice the price of a 7-Eleven version, but luckily it tasted about 3 times better, so an absolute win. Of course, right behind it is the ever-present 7-Eleven with its world-famous coffee logo. It says ass, right? Ass coffee. By this point, I was 90 minutes and 4 toilet breaks into the day, so it's just nice to stop, just briefly, and enjoy what is generally one of my favorite foods. Second only, of course, to salt and vinegar Pringles. Doesn't get much better than this. 7-Eleven coffee. Very expensive. Piece of toast. And 3 stations down, so cheers. Cheers to the Ass Cafe, and good morning. Moving on, I was keen to try out my new camera, and I knew I had about a 20-minute window before nature called again, which in Bangkok is roughly the same amount of time it takes to cross a road. Having this 6x zoom now generally gave me a new perspective. It pulls everything into focus, like the sheer amount of work and effort that people are putting in just to keep this city moving. Take this guy for example, one of the many unsung heroes we rely on, yet rarely stop to thank. Funny thing is, if I hadn't stopped to play with the new lens, I would have walked straight past him. Sometimes all it takes to actually see a place is to stop and look. Anyway, right on the 2-hour mark, yet another MRT and another ginger.
I would tell you more about Lumpini, but fun fact, next week I'm moving here, so I'm very sure that cat and some other quirks around this area will probably appear in some of my videos in the future, so...
Of course, with great focus power comes great responsibility to not film any half-clothed ladies, police or monks. So big thanks to Ben in Bangkok for sending me in this clip to use.
How cool is this camera? I'm actually talking to you right now, see? Is it even tracking me? Don't know.
Well, you might think you're driving me insane, but I made the game that you're trying to play. You know, I think you maybe ought to know this ain't my first rodeo. I've been around long enough to know some things you can't take back.
Bangkok is a city of contrast, the old and the new, stacked seemingly in the same building in this instant. You'll find centuries-old shrines in the shadow of a glass skyscraper, a simple street food cart parked outside a designer store. But for all the ways this city is constantly changing, one thing never seems to, and that's the people. On every walk I've done, someone has always stopped to interact with me, ask how I'm doing. A small gesture, such as sharing a bottle of water, or a large entire day of cleaning up the streets, is usually met with smiles and sincerity. I even saw this lady who reminded me to sit down and take a rest for a moment. Because as anyone that's been to Thailand knows, bloody hot here. Not as hot as London these days, I hear, but when the rest of the world books their summer holidays to England, we know we're done for. Luckily, global warming is just a myth, eh?
2 minutes inside of an air-conditioned 7-Eleven. Find a can of Monster for the old energy and... oh, I see it. Happy days.
With the heat now fully upon us, I grabbed this lad some water and some energy and won't show his face, and pushed on, stopping only now and then to take in the canals, the odd temple, and this beautiful 110-year-old Italian neon Renaissance railway cathedral, now largely retired from the job that it was built for, quietly sitting above the modern MRT line that's taken its place. And it wasn't long before I arrived somewhere that I'm sure a lot of you have visited, but rarely in the morning. Specifically, Songwat Road was an old trading street that's quietly become one of the most creative corners of the city, and sitting right on its edge, a family-run shop that's been making sweet potato-coloured steamed buns from a recipe passed down for 4 generations. Now, however, in an effort to keep up with modern times, they've added a simple piece of plastic to balance pork dumplings on top of Thai milk tea, a century of tradition colliding with the modern world and social media. Now, whether that's progress or a gimmick, it's really for you to decide.
I don't know about crafting the perfect breakfast, but it's not bad. I wanted milk tea and they only had Thai tea. Probably about the same amount of sugar. And these little dumpling things, they taste a lot like fish, so see if I can find someone to give this to. Still, highly recommended, 160 baht for coffee and some dumplings, which is a lot, frankly, in Chinatown, but it is what it is, right? They have an amazing history, that place, so.
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Oh, no, I don't even know any more Dutch. I've completely forgotten. Oh, well.
Tosin.
Todscenes, that'll do. Okay, what was your name?
My name is Tom.
Tom, Chris.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure
Chris.
to meet you. He's a pilot, and he flies to Amsterdam all the time.
Have a good day.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.
This is one of the largest Chinatowns on Earth. It's been here for about 250 years now when the Chinese community got moved here to make way for the building of the Grand Palace. It's certainly Thailand's richest street, lined with more golds than anywhere else in the country. Now, I didn't pass it, but up the road is that golden Buddha, 5.5 tons of solid gold, which remarkably no one even knew it was gold as it spent centuries hidden under plastic. The secret was literally only revealed by accident when a few workers dropped it and the casing cracked away.
I actually surprisingly know a lot about Chinatown. With Instagram, last 6 months I've been doing nothing but studying it. And now our Instagram is literally getting millions of views. So if anybody wants me to do like a full comprehensive guide to Bangkok's Chinatown, just ask. Of course, it won't be as good as Bangkok Pat, but I mean, what is? So I know we've had the parks and the the temples, the shopping malls, and then Chinatown, which of course that's where all the tourists love to go. But this part up here, this is my absolute favorite part of the journey, or at least what I'm expecting to be my absolute favorite part of the journey. And that's because, well, I don't think I've been over here before.
This is where I believe the Blue Line actually dips underneath the water, and where the city starts to loosen its grip. The crowds thin out and the pace drops. So finally, the real, more localized adventure can begin. Over here, you'll find pockets of old Bangkok that most people never reach, like the Santa Cruz Church, a quiet reminder of the city's centuries-old Portuguese community. If you do fancy a visit to the quieter side, head over that bridge, find this church, go to the side of it, and up this street, come here. Of course, it's closed right now, but that's where I found those super lovely foreigner cakes from a previous video. Highly worth a 5-minute walk to see their process and get one. Or 8. Get 8. Support these ladies because they are really awesome. Almost immediately next to it is this 200-year-old riverside temple, which name means good friend. I think inside sits the largest Buddha in all of Bangkok. Frankly, at this point, I just needed water and to meet a friendly person selling them who gave me this cool little fan thing.
Dude, give me this. Yeah. Well, it's a very nice thought.
This is what I mean about why I like this part of the journey so much. Another side street and a tiny shop, sitting on a pretty horrific klong, yet super friendly people who wished me well and let me film their 2-month-old kitten, named San. I wasn't 100% sure what the meat was, but all I can tell you for 20 baht, it was absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Amazing, amazing. Welcome with that. Thank you. I really hope this is chicken, or pork, or just not San's brother or something. Oh, it's very hot. Who knew that cooking something on fire would make it hot? Oh my God. It's absolutely delicious. Certainly the key today is to enjoy myself and certainly not moan about anything. There's so many hardworking Thais out here cleaning, fixing things, working, you know, and they're not complaining. It is officially midday. I've been walking for just over 6 hours now, and I believe this next MRT station is about 1/3 of the way. 6 hours to do 1/3, another 12 hours to do the remaining 2/3. Yeah, about 18 hours effectively to get where I need to get.
When you explore a city through a camera, tiny moments that would otherwise pass you by are suddenly framed right there on your screen. A tiny 7-Eleven uniform made for a child with aspirations perhaps to one day be able to serve the greatest coffee in the world. A shrine to a revered king, still lit and tended on a quiet street. A sign hanging at an angle that, yeah, I wouldn't get underneath it.
Well, that's terrifying.
But looking closer reveals the harder things too. This man quietly making his home beneath a bridge, whilst the world quite literally passes over him. And that's the thing about really seeing a place. You don't get to choose what you find. You see it all, the beautiful and the difficult, and you carry a little bit of both onwards with you.
It's safe to say that I am completely lost. I knew that was coming. I'm walking down some very small streets, and it's quite a way down here. Much easier to follow the BTS, you can see it. MRT is pretty much underground. It has now got so hot that I gotta figure out how these go onto me trousers. Oh man, I need an adult. So, little tip for everybody. Been here 8 years now, and for the first year, used to get super sick. And then I started wiping the lids of my cans. And now I only get sick like once a week. So, the more you know. Well, we're officially at the Praia. And yes, I know. There's about 3 or 4 more stops that just sort of tail off that way and then just turn around and come back. But this is all about the loop. I'm a third of the way through the journey and nearly 7 hours. I should be here after 6 hours. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit less filming and a lot more walking, turning directly northeast, I guess, and heading towards Chaka Chak. Let's do that.
'Cause we can go higher than we've ever
before. I get up, put my feet onto the ground. My eyes made up, it's made up, and there's no backing down. Cause we can go higher than we've ever been before. We can stand tall with our backs against the wall. There might be struggles, things in the way.
To be completely honest, I'm, oh my God, the car behind me. On a path. To be completely honest, other than cars, no, you can't even go through there, mate. Even I'm struggling to find anything interesting at all that's happening around here. I haven't done too much filming in the last couple of hours. It's 3 o'clock, exactly. And I believe I'm reaching Bango? 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 Oh no. Bango! I believe I'm reaching the exact halfway point. So, only way you can improve Bango is by having a Bango fire station. Although, maybe that's in progress. I tell you what, Bango has fast become my most favorite MRT station ever. There's a Bango fire station. There's a huge bloody dinosaur. If only there was a 7-Eleven, this would be absolutely amazing. I bloody hate Bango. Not the place, but the MRT goes over the river. And as we know, in all of documented history, only one person's ever been able to walk on water, Harry Kane. So Muggins here has had to walk 2.5 kilometers in the wrong direction. Luckily, as I've already walked from Bangkok to Hua Hin, I'm probably the only bloody parang idiot who knew a little shortcut to carry on getting back on my way. Classic.
Sometimes obstacles come at you from nowhere. A path ends, heavy rain washes down on you. You can either resent it or you can accept it. Put your head down and keep pushing through, trying to focus on the beauty around you. Or at least in this case, laughing at the stupidity of a problem you caused yourself because you didn't do any planning. The truth is, you rarely get to choose what happens to you out there. All you can do is choose what you do next. So with many hours remaining, I'd now be doing it in soaking wet clothes, a camera full of some pretty awesome shots, and with the knowledge that I've just overcome one of the most memorable parts of the journey so far.
Suntan lotion in my eyes from the rain. It looks like the sun's come back out again now. Time to put some more suntan lotion on.
To cheer myself up, and as I hadn't eaten anything for a few hours, I found this really cool specialized chicken shop, and then headed to the next MRT station, which I would have arrived in just 20 minutes instead of the near 2 hours if I could have walked over that bridge. But there I got to enjoy this Chinese-style sausage. The chicken had bone in it, and then I realized instead of walking all the way around, this was actually a pier, which is super annoying. I can't believe they didn't put up any signs to inform people of this. I'll skip the next few stations because that's where I started the Hua Hin walk, so let's jump ahead about an hour to Chatuchak Park. Now here's something that most people walking through here have no idea about. During the Second World War, this peaceful green space, Thailand's very first public park, was taken over and used as a Japanese army camp. My plan was to stick around here and watch the sun go down and get some nice filming done. But it was super busy and I didn't want to film too many people, so instead I decided to go up another level, hiking the final part of this northern section of the trip, and figure out where this giant walkway actually leads to.
Oh, the sun is pretty much gone now. It is 2 minutes until 7 p.m. I started walking. Well, I left my house at 5 a.m. this morning to film the intro. So I have been walking for 13, 14 hours. I'm not going to lie, 14 hours is, I don't feel great, but I don't feel awful. I'm just kind of annoyed because I'm soaking wet. I don't know where I'm going. I've never been this far up on this platform before, but well, maybe there's some stairs, so we'll find out. I think that's the BTS, so that's no good. Need to get to the ground, ideally. I think I'm going. It just looks like the entrance to either a really fancy hotel or like a go-go bar. Then still quite high off the ground, and this is a dead end. Brilliant. I'll just probably just turn around and go all the way back.
I'd made it down, and goddamn, that is an impressive building. From there, I carried on along the road, knowing that right now the light was dropping fast, and so would be my video quality. So the plan was simple, only film where it was bright. 20 minutes later, I was walking still alongside the park. How big is this park? And eventually reached La Prau, where I found myself heading into this absolutely enormous underpass. And I'll be honest, let me turn off the noise cancellation. That sound alone down there was generally unsettling. But here's the thing about Thailand. No matter how lost, tired, or mildly terrified you are, there's always this little family-run shop ready to point you in the right direction. This one, however, only sold as select, so we got something else.
Yes, this is my third monster of the day, and yes, I've had 3 7-Eleven coffees today. But I've also been walking for 15 hours, so I'm okay with it.
Every day is a struggle. Every day is a trial. Every day is a failure. I have to walk another mile. I'll go wherever you go. Every day is a rabbit trap and a walk of the lamb. Do you think you can sue me for that? As a judge of the land, I'll go wherever you go.
I'm obviously not complaining, but every now and again I keep smelling like sewage or something, thinking I'm walking through like a bad area. Turns out it's me. I absolutely stink. This is the La Prau Yellow Line MRT BTS-y thing. If I turn south now, I start making my way back home towards the Sukhumvit thing. 2 hours would mean that I'd make it by about 11, which is pretty cool. And a 2-hour walk on Google Map is normally a 3-hour walk for me, so that would be exactly spot on, but let's see. I've been in Thailand now for 8 or 9 years. It's still surprising with me how many cars go by, even when it's dark, completely nighttime, and they don't have their lights on. I remember when I first arrived in Thailand, I saw a car without its lights on, and I nearly jumped into the road to be like, dude, your lights, you know? Maybe Thai people are just like cats and they can see perfectly in the dark, but how did you not notice that your lights are not on?
From here, the stations came thick and fast, and honestly, not a huge amount to report. I stopped for some fruit, which I'm aware of how boring that sounds, but it felt like a genuine win. In every other walk at this point, I would have stopped for a beer. But in my last video, I finally saw myself properly on camera and didn't much like what I saw. So since then, I've lost 13 kilograms. You probably can't tell, and I'm only about halfway there now. But still, that's the strange thing about a walk like this. Hours on your feet with nothing but your own thoughts, and you start noticing the small decisions you've made, and how many of them can add up. Fruit instead of beer, walking instead of a train. None of it's that dramatic, but it all counts. One highlight is near the Thailand Cultural Centre where I passed John Fairs, which I've covered before, so I won't go on too much about it. Although there is something most people don't realise, John Fairs is essentially a ghost brought back to life. That legendary train market that COVID killed off was reborn under a new name but with the same owner. And the train in the name never meant trains actually ran through it, the old market simply sat on railway land. Anyway, it was absolutely rammed, and at this point I was acutely, painfully aware of how bad I smelled, so I made the executive decision just to keep on walking. Onwards towards the final few stations. And a kebab shop, where I'd be ordering from the street, standing on the street, and then eating it. In my book, that makes it street food. And then hey, at long last, after a long, bloody video, I was back to where I started. Sukhumvit MRT.
So, ladies and gentlemen, 55 kilometers, just over 17 hours, the entire Blue Line MRT. What a completely pointless walk. But
today, with this new camera in my hand, I was forced to slow down and actually look at things from a new perspective. A city that I've walked 100 times started to show me things that I'd never noticed. The tiny details, the people, the food, hidden alleyways that I've been up before. And then it hit me that Bangkok hasn't changed. I have. I just started to pay attention. Maybe that's something there for all of us. It's easy to move through our own lives on autopilot, seeing only what we expect to see, but sometimes we need to change the perspective. And maybe look at yourself the way that someone else might. And ask honestly whether that what they see matches what you thought was there.
You haven't got to walk 50 kilometers. Sometimes all you need to do is take a step back and look at life from a different angle. Thanks for watching.